Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and here we go for the ace match of this 2010-2011 series. Everything over the past, 7 months comes down to this, maybe even more than that. It might even be like 8-9 months, some ridiculous time. All of it comes down to this, the Pro League Finals. We are tied at 3 games apiece. We are going on to set 7, the ace match. It is going to be Flash for KT Rolster, no surprise there, but for SK Telecom 1 making a bit of a surprise move here. It's not Fantasy, it's not Bisu, but it's Best. Best has trained for this. I truly, honestly believe that Best has done nothing for the past month but train to fight Flash. Unfortunately, in his first shot on set 5 in Fortress, he fell, and that actually evened their personal series up at 6 games to 6, and whoever wins this will break their personal series tie, they'll break their team series tie, and they will go on to win the Pro League Championship for their team. And this should be absolutely epic. It's going to be on Circuit Breakers, a huge map, lots of bases, lots of potential for a big macro game, which would lend itself to Best's favor. If there could be a situation that could favor Best against Flash, it would be a big macro game where he could use his army movement, where he can use a huge number of gateways and economy to try and just overpower Flash with army movement and just army quality and usage. That would be probably his best hope, and this is definitely a map where he could do it. I have to say though that I am shocked that it's not Fantasy or Bisu. Fantasy versus Flash is another one of those epic series of TVT where it's gone back and forth. Both players have won a lot of games. I'm pretty sure Flash holds the edge on both of those players, but it's both those would be fantastic games. We saw Bisu beat Flash already in the Winners League finals. And I actually kind of expected to see him get another shot. He's already beaten Flash once on the big stage in the finals. Why not give him another chance? But it looks like instead they're going to give that to Best. Somewhat surprising, but nonetheless definitely has a really good shot of taking down Flash here in the end. And really, this is just amazing. This is what it comes down to after all these months, after all these games. We've seen Air Force Ace at the bottom of the league claw their way back into contention off of some great plays from GGAMO, and Anytime was playing well. Who was it? Ruby was playing well. Firebat Hero and Iris. All these players, these old school players that we all used to love when they were playing well, but kind of fell into mediocrity, kind of fell into obscurity. They kind of made a name for themselves again in Air Force Ace, and they were really a great story throughout the whole year, watching them resurge and even kind of compete at that bottom level, trying to beat out, We Made Fox and some other those teams that were hanging out at the bottom of the league that couldn't really get going and compete for a playoff spot. We saw Woongjin Stars make some big moves in the off season and over the course of the year. They brought in Really and Flying from Eastro, which was really crazy. They definitely bolstered their Terran lineup, brought in Light halfway through the season from MBC, so really became a really strong, deep team, but they just didn't have that punch when it came to ace matches. They didn't have that punch when it came to the big games to take down top teams like KT Rolster here, who knocked them out in the playoffs. So basically that's what we've happened, and SKT has just been watching from above the whole time. They've basically been leading the entire year, just watching from above, watching all of the younger teams, all of the other teams battle for positioning, to have the right to fight them, and KT clawed and clawed with everything that they went through, from Flash and his wrist problems to Reach coming back to the team after leaving Air Force Ace, and Yellow retiring and having that show match against Midas, which was kind of a disappointing game, but it was pretty cool to watch nonetheless. And just a lot has gone on with that team. Stats emerging as such a powerful player and earning their right here to fight for an ace match, and none other than Flash. Who else would you want if you're KT Rolster than Flash? And you can just look at that bench, look at that KT bench, so tense. You got some slouching going on, you got a lot of concerned faces, when this is what it all comes down to in the end, is this game right now. We do have both players having expansions going already. Flash is actually up considerably earlier than Best, so that's going to favor him right now as we move into the med game. And unfortunately, Best has no idea how far behind he is against this very, very fast expansion from Flash. So Best is going to be behind macro, going to be behind economically,
but we'll see what he can do in terms of putting on some pressure, because the first tank and such things will be later for Flash. There is an opportunity for Best to try and maybe get in here, do some damage, at least put on some harassment, just be annoying as much as he can. There's a bunker, so it's going to be limited use, but that is something that he can try and do. And he sees that bunker there, and I think that should be an indicator to Best that he has been 1-Rax expoed, and then he needs to try and make that up. And Flash actually stopping the location where you would most likely see a Protoss third base with an engineering bay, putting that there. He's going to use the engineering bay as well if he can finish it, but by putting it there, he also gets knowledge of if Best decides to counter this quick expansion with a third base of his own, that would be the most logical place for Best to go. And yep, there's the probe right now, scouting it out. And now Flash knows. This is huge. This is a great play by Flash in so many ways. Not only has he stopped it, but now Flash knows that what Best wants to do is go for that third base quickly and not go for a power build, not going to rush for DTs, not going to go reavers and that sort of thing. He's not even finishing that engineering bay because he knows it, but he also knows that it's most likely that Blessed is going to go to this 3 o'clock position, put down a base here. So this is all fantastic information that Flash is getting. He's clearly practiced on this map. He's clearly has knows exactly what he wants to do on this map, and he came in with a plan that's very, very obvious to me. And covering his siege tank with a barracks, another fantastic play from Flash, making it so that way even if Best wanted to dart in there, which he could with 4 Dragoons, he could definitely dart in there and pick off that tank, but with the barracks over top, he can't target it. He can't target it. Flash is just absolutely on top of his game. This is great by Flash. Best is going to be playing some catch-up. He has thrown down his 3rd Nexus, but he's going to have to play defensive. We saw those machine shops spinning, trying to get the Vulture upgrades for Flash going, and he's going to take a quick third as well. So wow, look at this. So Flash is going to counter Best quick third with a quick third of his own. So Flash is just going to try and out macro, out beast Best, and poor Best has no idea this is coming yet. He has no idea what's coming, but if he can detect what's coming his way, he can try and maybe punish Flash for it with a strong mid-game push. And try and get, maybe a shuttle with some Zealot bombs going, try and take advantage of Flash's lower tank count. That's kind of the thing that he would maybe try and do. Here comes some Vultures going for a run-by, going to try and take that ramp, but the mine's not placed close enough to that Dragoon to knock it out. But the other mines will do a lot of damage, and will they take out any probes? No probes have gone down to those mines, those dangerous mines. Still that, oh no, this could be terrible! That was so close. Best has no idea how close. Well, I'm sure he does know how close, actually. The game almost ended with 1 mine. That could have been terrible. But these Vultures at the 3rd base picking off some probes. So Best losing control of his bases right now, losing control of his economy, and is in huge trouble right now. Needs to clear out these mines, needs to get this 3rd base running, needs to catch up on his eco. He's just behind right now, and struggling to catch up. Wow, this is such a tense moment. This is such a tense moment for Best. Needs to get his eco going, needs to get it going, needs to get his tech going. This is just too critical for Best at this moment to wait. He does see that 3rd command center, so he knows that is coming, knows that the quick third is coming his way. Now what will Best do? Will he go for a quick 4th? Will he go for 3 base arbiter play? This is going to be interesting to see how he decides to play it. We could see him go for a 4th base and just say, alright, you want a macro game? I'll give you a macro game. We will do nothing but build up huge economies and huge forces for this game and see what happens. And go with that kind of build. Who knows? That is definitely an option for Best. That would leave him vulnerable, of course, to a push by Flash. So he's got to kind of gauge his options and make a decision here. He's getting a forge right now as well as a Citadel. He'll put down a cannon or 2 at his base to stop Vulture harassments and also start working on his upgrades, which is something that Flash is normally really, really on top of, is getting his upgrades early, getting them often, and getting an upgrade lead. We do see that pylon wall at that 3rd base. That will help him out considerably in fighting off the Vulture harassment. That Citadel down, I assume that we'll see a Templar Archives and a Stargate thrown down very, very shortly in order to start going for that Arbiter tech off of these 3 bases. It looks like Flash taking a 4th base at the 12 o'clock. Look at this. Flash just expoing everywhere, playing defensive, playing expo heavy, and with these Vultures just trying to keep the pressure on Best with the Vultures. And it looks like Flash has come into this game with a game plan. Knowing that Best would want to play a macro game, he's decided to go for even more of a macro game and use his Vultures to buy him the time to take advantage of that macro. This is really just a great game plan by Flash at this moment, and Best has fallen right into it. Best wanted to play a macro game, as he should. He's the best macro Protoss around, so Makes sense for him to want to do that. Unfortunately, Flash called it. Flash assumed that that's exactly what he would do, and has gone for kind of a going to try and beat Best at his own game. And with 4 bases against Best's 3, that 4th base can get running, and he can make up some of the delay in his army. Best will be in huge trouble. There is the Stargate and the Templar Archives. There it is. So he is going to be going for an Arbiter build. He does have that 4th base going at that mineral only, so the 2 players will be tied on bases, but that generally favors the Terran player when you're tied 4 bases to 4, really any number of bases, that generally favors the Terran player, who will be able to create a more powerful force than a Protoss for the most part. Here comes some Vultures trying to do some more harassment, gonna get caught by that pylon wall, not gonna be able to get in, and looking around for more bases of Best, trying to see if Best has done anything tricksy, trying to sneak a base here or there. She's watching out for, which is definitely wise of him, and a couple cannons going down at that mineral only as well for Best. So going to try and get that base operational and protected. And does Best know about this 12 o'clock base? I'm not sure if he knows about this, and we see Best throwing down a ton of gateways. This is classic Best. When we talk about what Best does, this is how Best plays. 14 gateways. That's how he likes it. 14? That's it? Like, if he had it his way, he'd be up to what? Well, I think he sets the record for most number of gateways in a game. I believe it was like 26 or something. Some obscene number of gateways. Most number of gateways in a pro game ever. And just macroed off of something like 6 bases in that game. Or I think it was 6 bases in that game. And just overpowered his Terran opponent. That's how Best likes to play. And it looks like he's coming here to the top right. Might actually be setting up to try and take a 5th base here. Flash coming in there with a Vulture, seeing the Dragoons, but I do not believe he saw the probe. And what is Flash going to do? Is he going to go for a push? He has these Vultures, has the mines around, and it does have the eco now. So when will Flash push out? Will this be something maybe like a 2-1 or 3-2? Will he wait for full upgrades? That will be kind of that's kind of my question right now. How many upgrades is Flash going to wait for? What side count is he going to wait for before he decides to push out? On the other hand, we do have Arbiters coming out. We will have that Arbiter tech going. And look at all these factories. That's going to get him up to 11 factories. Yikes. And 2 armories spinning. So he's getting his upgrades going very, very well. Yeah, both these players are on top of their upgrades. I believe that Forge should be completed. So we should be going for that second upgrade, whether it's weapons or armor. We will find out. Does have 1 shuttle with Zell bombs, could maybe even go for a second, since Flash does not look like he's getting any Goliaths quite yet. And oh, that mine goes off, taking out a lot of the shields on the Dragoon army. And Best with that top right base is going to take it, and is going to throw down probably another 6 or 7 gateways up there as well to have another reinforcing point. In order to sandwich any sort of move that Flash makes. Flash moves towards the bottom right. He will reinforce with units from the top right in order to make a pincer movement. If Flash goes to the top right, he'll use this larger number of gateways at the bottom right to make a pincer movement. So it's a really good strategy by Best to do this sort of thing. And now here comes a lot of Dragoons facing Vultures, and the Dragoons being microed pretty well, not enough mines being placed down, so he's going to be able to clear this out, and as long as none of these mines go off, and then that mine does go off, but didn't catch as many Dragoons as some of the other ones, so most of those Dragoons are still relatively healthy. We have some more gateways and a couple cannons going up at the top right to defend that base, and this game is starting to hang in the balance. Flash will be able to macro like a beast, but so will Best. Best will get his macro rolling, and this should come down to a very, very fun game. Those High Templars will get loaded up into that shuttle. We could be seeing an attempt at some Jangbi-esque storms. See if he can do that. Bring in the Zealots as well in order to be that cannon fodder, in order to mine drag, and all those wonderful things. And a Zealot killing off a Vulture here at the 6 o'clock position. Looks like Best is going to try and take that base as well. So he's going to try and get up to a 6th base. So this is just a huge macro fest. Just tons of bases going up. And Flash looks like he is ready to push out 1-0 right now. Probably those 2 upgrades should finish soon. So this will be a 2-1 push. Probably about a 180 or so Psi. This will be a huge push. Tons of tanks. Tons of Vultures. Psi vessels also being included in this. So Best is going to do a fighting retreat here. Force Flash to kind of siege and unsiege as much as possible, buy him time to get his Arbiters into play, which seem to be more delayed than they should. I feel like he should have Arbiters out right now. And Command Center coming up at the 9 o'clock position as well. He still has that shuttle with those High Templar, which will be very, very powerful. If they can get some good storms up, they can take out tanks very, very quickly and weaken units so that way Zealots and Dragoons can come and clean it up effectively. And it looks like Flash is going to head towards the top right, and there is an Arbiter with some Zealot support watching this happen. And how will this engagement reinforcement go down. Will Flash, Flash does get the EMP off on that Arbiter, so there will be no stasis in this battle. And look at that tank line, look at that tank line. Looks like 15, 18, maybe even more tanks in play right now. So Best needs to come in on a big flank. Does not want to engage here. This is not his engagement. He needs to come in on a big, long flank. Make those tanks as little, as ineffective as possible, but making them not attack in a line, like down the line. You don't want to hit one siege tank, then the next, and the next. You want to make all those siege tanks hit you together, like a big broadside, like an old naval warfare. And here come the High Templar coming in with some storms, some good storms. Need some more coming down there, some more coming in there, but not enough storms in there for Best. So Best is getting cornered in here a little bit. Some Zealots coming there to the 9 o'clock position, should be able to take down the base, but Flash looking in fantastic position after holding off the beginning of that assault. These Zealots are going to stop mining at this, stop mining from even starting at this 9 o'clock base, but Best does have a lot of gateways going, does have that Stargate continuing to produce Templar, and does have the potential here to sandwich this army of Flash. He's managed to keep most of his Dragoons alive, which is very, very important. Keep your Dragoons alive, and you can continue to fight by pumping Zealots and High Templar, which Zealots in particular will build a lot faster. And it looks like here comes Best for a big attack. Here come the Zealots, here come the Dragoons, but no, not enough there. Look at that. Best forced to retreat before the battle even really got underway there. And where's Best's army? Just looks like his army is smaller than I would have thought. He's got all these gateways. I really would have thought his army would be a whole lot larger, a whole lot more effective right now. And look at all those probes not mining, not able to use them at all. So Best in a little bit of trouble here, and it looks like here comes a huge stream of vultures to support his tanks, and they are going to engage the Zealots and the High Templar, force the storms to be used, and Best running out of units right now, starting to run a little low on units, and it looks like Flash is going to take this game. Best is in huge trouble right now. Best does not have much of an army left at the moment. He's trying to macro up, but where is his money coming from? It just doesn't seem like he has enough money in order to even pump with all these gateways. He's set up for it looks like he was hoping that the fight would maybe go on in about another 2 minutes or so, when he would have more of those gateways operational, but just looks like Flash hit the nice timing on Best, and Best is in huge trouble doing this fighting retreat right now, in huge trouble right now, and Zealot's going to the 12 o'clock position, but that is walled off with turrets and supply depots, and it looks like some tanks in the back as well. He's going to be able to hold that off. Flash is taking out the 3 o'clock base, going towards that mineral only, and you got that tongue sticking out, a little bit of that Flash showing up here, that attitude of Flash that he can take down this mineral only. He's going to be very confident in his ability to finish this game off. Side Vessel goes down, but a scan comes in time in order to continue to give these tanks vision, and here come the tanks coming in for the kill at this mineral only, and SKT's coach looks very, very distraught. I think he realizes that this game is very, very difficult for Best right now. This is going to be tough for Best to come back from, as he's going to lose that mineral only as well. He is managing to macro up a decent bit of an army here. If he can clean this up and counterattack a little bit, maybe hit that 9 o'clock base, try and stop that. If he can take out these forces for Flash that are coming his way, though, that is the utmost crucial thing right now, is he needs to get rid of these forces, and he's doing what he can. Here comes some forces from the top, going to try and pincer these forces and the Dragoons, but it looks like he's not going to be able to time it right. That's going to be a problem. He's not going to be able to time it right. He needs those forces from the top attacking the same time as the forces pump out from his main gateway. It just doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. He's going to pick off some tanks, and some good storms coming in here, picking off some of the tanks, but is it going to be enough? It looks like Flash continue to funnel units in here on 2-1 upgrades for the Protoss army, same as the Terran army right now, so that they are equal on upgrades. Unfortunately, it just looks like Best not able to get his units going, just not able to get enough units out there. He's got the gateways, but just not enough probes, not enough minerals, not enough income in order to support them all. And here comes Best once more for another little push out, but he's actually going to pull back with his main forces, and this is starting to look like the beginning of the end here. 3-2 upgrades have finished for that Terran army, so that Terran army is just incredibly powerful right now, and this just has that feeling of inevitability to it. Best streaming some Zealots in from the top, coming in, busting out with Zealots from his main as well, going to try and bust this, and here comes some mines. Are they going to be enough? They are actually going to clear out a lot of these tanks, but there's still more tanks streaming in. Some good Zealot mines, Zealot drags for these mines. So Flash losing a lot of tanks, but is that going to be enough? Flash taking the bottom left-hand base as well, and Flash continuing to funnel units in here towards the main of Best. And like I said, just that feeling of inevitability that there's just nothing that Best is going to be able to do to really clean this up. Flash with that macro will be able to continuously funnel units in here, and it looks like the KT flags are waving. The KT flags of revenge look like they are prepared here. Revenge for their Winners League Finals loss, and trying to maintain KT's dominance in Pro League. This would be their second Pro League final win in a row, and it looks like it is going to happen. Flash busting up into the main. This DT not going to be able to do enough economic harassment to even it up at all. Vultures, Goliaths, tanks streaming up this ramp right now, taking out gateways, taking out this 6 o'clock base as well right now. So it looks like this is going to be the end, and KT is going to almost even out the overall final series at 3-2 as soon as this game is over, and KT is going to be your Pro League champion, and Flash with 2 wins over Best is going to be the MVP. I don't know if they give finals MVPs like they do in other sports. They give the finals MVP, the Conn Smythe, if you will, in NHL. Similar things in other sports. If they have one, it will go to Flash with 2 wins against Best. And Flash with great strategy in both games. In the first set on Fortress, look at that. He went for the timing push and the contain and beat Best. This time he went for the big macro game and is once again going to take Best down. The main has fallen for Best at this point. The panic button for Protoss has been pressed. There are many Dark Templar wandering around, but it's just not going to be enough. There's a lot of gateways here up in here in the top right, but it's just not going to be enough to deal with all of this stuff that Flash is producing. It's just simply too much. And that High Templar gets picked off even, and another High Templar gets picked off. So just trouble coming towards SKT, and Best is not going to be happy. And the worst part about this is that you almost feel bad for Bisu and Fantasy. They're 2 aces that did win in this series. They're not even going to get a chance to take down Flash at all. They're just going to have to watch from the sidelines as Chris Bosch, as I call him. I call Best the Chris Bosch. I like that, actually. I like it a lot. He's the Chris Bosch of SKT1, and he's going to lose this final game for them. And a nice mind drag, able to take down a bunch of tanks. But as I said, every single time this happened on Fortress, this is happening now. Every time it looks like Best has a nice play, it's just not enough. You got to look at Bisu's face, that disappointed look of how did we possibly lose this? Me and Fantasy both won our games. Hell, even Sue won a game. Or yeah, was it Sue? No, even Rain won a game. Yeah, that was the third one, was Rain. Even Rain comes in with a victory, and we just can't beat Flash. And Bisu not even getting the opportunity. So disappointing. He's got to be so disappointed. You can just see Flash's army. Just look at all the yellow dots all over the map, all those mines. There's a good stasis catching 3 tanks. But like I said, it just doesn't matter. With just 1 base, no matter how much he has in the bank, just 1 base, it doesn't matter. There's no way that Best will ever be able to beat this huge contingent of forces heading his way. And there's the cheers from KT Rolster as tanks get able to siege on the bottom of the ramp. We'll siege up into this main at the top right. This game it was over before, but it is officially over now. This DT trying to do what it can. It's going to blow up. Looks like it's probably going to take a tank down with it, but it's just too much. Disappointing showing for Best. There's GG, and here comes the victory celebration for KT Rolster, your Shithand Bank 2010-2011 Pro League champion. And there they go, spraying water. Where's the champagne? Come on, we need champagne, not water. We need champagne. Get that soju out. And they are all getting drenched. Where's that Gatorade? I guess I'm too American. I'm calling too many American ideals. But it looks like there's all so much water just being sprayed all over the place. They probably have too many underage people to do soju or other things, I'm guessing, on camera. But there's the great Flash. He's going to take his flag. Will he do a victory lap? Maybe he'll do a victory lap. That would be very cool to see Flash run a little victory lap in celebration of his victory here and his Pro League championship. What a day. What a day for Flash. He's going to go get surgery soon enough to repair his injured wrist. But injured wrist and all, he's still able to defeat Best twice in order to get a win. So fantastic by Flash, fantastic for KT Rolster, and I hope you guys enjoyed this series. This was quite the epic series, a lot of good games played by both of these teams, and in the end, the best player in the world, Flash, able to take down SKT1 and give them the championship. So I will see you guys all in the future when Pro League starts again, maybe some more OSL, MSL, particularly following Jangby, which, as you know, I will do religiously. And I will see you guys all in the future for future games. GG's all. I hope you guys enjoyed.